Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome to a brand new project that we're going to be undertaking. Just a quick rundown of what this series is going to consist of. It is going to be a creative build series where we're in creative mode, and we will be moving periodically from project to project. For example, this first world that we're going to do, we're going to be building in pretty much vanilla 1.17. and doing a variety of builds. These builds will be available as a world download. They will be available to patrons each episode, so patrons will have access to it as each episode comes out. You know, after today, they'll have access to this build, and then as we add another project, that'll get updated. And there will be a public world download down the road. Once all the builds within a specific world are done, then there will be a public world download. But I was wanting to start this series because I wanted to have just a build focused series where we don't have to worry about doing a bunch of automation and stuff like that, or going about like a normal series where we can just focus purely on the building. We'll have some building tutorials. We'll have some builds that take place in a modded environment where we have access to various different mods such as architecture craft or something like that. And we'll be doing some larger scale builds and some smaller scale builds. If you guys have any requests, you can leave them down in the comments or on the creative building channel on the Discord. Either of those that you want us to build within the series, then we can do that as well. But each world, for example, this one may have 5 or 10 projects. Then after that world's done, then we'll do a world upload, and then this world will be kind of done. Now, we won't necessarily do all of this world before we do another one. I'm actually in the process of working on our first large build, which will be more like big city building or castles, things like that. But I've noticed as I work on Tales, I have a lot of fun actually just building in creative mode and not having to worry about running cables or doing any of that boring stuff, and just focusing on the building. That's what I enjoy most about Minecraft. So today what we're going to be building is kind of a starter home vanilla, but of course you can build this within modded. You can make adjustments, but hopefully this gives you some inspiration and stuff. So we'll kind of be talking through it and building this in kind of a replay mod speed format. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy it. It's kind of a new thing I had talked about a while back, wanting to do this, and I figured it was time. So that way we can have a really heavy build focus type series. Alright, so we're actually building over near spawn within this world. I'll be sure to put the seed down below in the video description. But I'm going to start out by just building kind of a foundation. This is going to be a cobblestone based, as you saw in the intro, it's kind of a cobblestone based foundation, and then we're going to build upwards. And I've spaced all these out. Most of the sides are a 5 interior with basically a block allowed for the pillars there on the corner, so it's about a 5 interior, kind of where the window runs. Now the far sides are a little bit wider. The one facing the river there towards that fish that you can kind of see, it is 7 wide, but I basically spaced all that out so we have plenty of room to run our pillars and make it look nice. And we're kind of building this one out where it kind of intersects, kind of makes a cross shape, but we're going to be adding something. You can see I left that one wall there kind of towards us right now. I left that completely open, and we'll get into why that is, because we're actually going to be adding on an addition to this build where it's kind of like a built-on blacksmith. But we're going ahead, we're adding the windows. Actually, the core of this was really quick to build. Altogether, this build took about 3 hours or 4 hours, something like that. It didn't take a really long time, but as I said, this is meant to be kind of a starter home, so the majority of the materials are wood and cobblestone. We do use just a little bit of nether and deep mining type materials, especially for the blacksmith, but for the most part this is pretty accessible as soon as you start a pack or a world or something like that. We're also going to be adding a few dormers onto the roof because I think they're going to add a lot to the build as a whole. A lot of windows, and then you can see down there where the entrance to kind of the entrance on this side, the entrance down into that cobblestone foundation is going to be. And something that I'm doing here is we're going to kind of go ahead and take a closer look after each cut and just take a closer look at what we did, so you can see the windows up close, you can see the dormers up close that we added onto there. And of course, we've also added some planter boxes and little things like that, a lot of little details just to kind of make it all pop, I think. And that's the wall there that's going to be left open, but of course we're going to be adding an addition here shortly to that. And I tried to kind of use the landscape, the natural landscape, clear it a little bit, but not much, and just kind of using this nice little spawn spot. We're also going to be making use of the river, because we have a really nice river access right next to the starter home, and I want to make use of that as well. Now we're going to go ahead and start adding some decks to this. So we're starting on the side. This one is, of course, 7 wide, like I had mentioned. And starting here and just kind of adding kind of a deck addition where we can step out and adding just a little bit of decoration. We're going to be doing some decoration outside. Now, we will not be decorating the inside today. We're going to be focusing on, within the series, a lot of focus on the exterior style of build, doing the architecture part of things. But if you guys want, we can always do a decoration based episode where we just do interior decoration, or we can do just an exterior decoration. But now I will say we decorate the outside a bit today. Now we will be adding also a mine and some animal pens and things like that to this build. It's going to be kind of a little process of building kind of a little starter base, not just the starter home. But you can see that we added a dock that kind of comes out. We got a boat. The very end of the dock there is lowered, so it makes a great fishing spot where you can fish off of that. And then we have this big grand deck that kind of comes out so we can overlook the river, because I wanted to make use of the scenery. There's a lot of great scenery in this spawn location, kind of this plainsy area, and I kind of wanted to make use of that, make it so that we could step out and kind of enjoy the view from our house with these kind of raised decks coming off of each floor here, and then we have that dock there for water travel and river access, fishing, that sort of thing. Now we're going to be decorating just slightly on the exterior, and then we're going to switch over and we're going to do kind of that entrance to the kind of down to the basement or the lower entryway for the house, and kind of decorating that out. Now I've done cobblestone for the roof. You could always switch that to planks. There's nothing keeping you with cobblestone, but I like the cobblestone look for this. Now we do come through later and add some kind of contrast blocks, some mossy and stuff like that to the roof. You could always drape some leaves. I thought about it, but I didn't think that the plains area would be someplace where I would want kind of those heavy vines hanging off the roof. So I left the vines off, but if you're living, say, in a jungle or a dense forest or something like that, of course you can always drape those leaves, and we will be doing some builds where we do that. Just this wasn't the right build for that. So we're also going to add a chimney. I'm going to come back through and drop that slightly though, because I felt like it was just a little bit high. It just needs to come up right above the roof. And then we are adding the addition. Now this is, like I said, going to be a blacksmith area, because every starter home needs a blacksmith, and I don't want to put our blast furnaces and stuff inside of the house. So they're going to be in the blacksmith, and we're going to be adding on kind of a large bloomery type setup onto this. The foundation, or the blacksmith, it kind of has a dropped roof. You can see where it kind of juts out. It makes it, I think, personally, look like an addition, which is what I wanted the blacksmith to kind of appear, as though it was an addition to this house. And plus it makes it clear at a glance that it's kind of separate from the main structure. And then we have the entrance over here. We have a crafting table. We have some compost bins. We have a lot of nice little greenery over here and some storage space as well. So now we're going to turn our attention fully over towards the blacksmith. We're going to go ahead and add a wall. We'll come back through to that, but that's going to be the wall that separates the blacksmith and the house. And then we're going to add just some railings around this. This is going to kind of drop down, so the blacksmith is actually sitting a little bit lower than the house and the surrounding dirt. Kind of a little work area. And then we're going to add a bloomery. Now we don't have a ton of space, so we're not going to make anything super elaborate, super big, nothing like that. But we're going to make a nice small kind of smelting area. And I decided that we're going to go ahead and have the roof come out and kind of support that chimney section there of the bloomery. and kind of the metalworking area, and that way it doesn't feel like before it felt like it was kind of just hanging there, and so I wanted to bring that out and add kind of like a cap bit of the roof there that's supported, and kind of connects onto the chimney, and make it look a little bit more uniform with the rest of the roof. And then of course we'll need to decorate out the blacksmith. So for decorating, we're going to add a little area here with some water, an anvil, a few item frames for things that are working or being worked on. And then we're also going to add these kind of overhead shelves, and we'll take a closer look at those shelves here in just a moment. But we're also going to add some storage barrels. We're going to add some charcoal that's being used to power this, and we're going to kind of spruce up our bloomery a bit, our smelting area, I should say. And of course, our main goal here is just to add some life and some convenience, you know, so that we have access to places to smelt things. It's not going to be a super smelter, you know, so if you're wanting something like super, you know, quick as far as like smelting large amounts of things, it's, you know, it's only got a couple small places to smelt things, but this will do the trick for kind of a starter home. And you can see the overhead shelves there. We got some item frames hanging down with kind of you know, hanging finished swords and things like that, and tools. And these of course also give you a great place to store tools that you are using but don't want to keep on you, like shears or flint and steel, something like that, to kind of put them away. Here you'll have easy access to them and have them just very quickly. And I also did some compost bins up top to kind of give some variation to our crates and things. Now we're going to do this wall really quickly, just kind of spruce that up a little bit. And then you could see also down there at the bottom left, I think it was off camera whenever I did it, but I did add kind of a foundation to the smelting area. And now we're coming through and we're hitting this with just a little bit of variation, adding some mossy stone bricks and mossy cobblestone to this, to kind of spruce up the roof just a bit. And then we're going to start kind of the exterior decoration, adding some life to the exterior, doing some pathways. We are going to be adding on to these pathways in some later builds, but for right now, we don't have anything that this is connecting to. So we're also going to add just some nature around here. You guys know, if you've been on the channel for very long, you know I love nature and builds. We're going to add some fences. We're going to add a little bit of lighting. We're also going to come through and make ourselves a little pond right here just to add a little bit more water. I didn't feel like there was enough water with the river running around there, and a little pond over here just felt right to me. Also coming around on the back side here, adding some plants and things. We will probably add a few more and do some tweaking as we kind of work on the build as a whole, but for now, just kind of getting the area just around the house for our starter home. So, of course, the decorations on the outside and stuff, you don't have to do those as part of the starter home, but hopefully this is kind of a good, fairly easy to build, really, fairly easy to build starter home for starting in Minecraft. And you'd have kind of a house that has a lot of space, and a house that you can be proud of. So that was kind of the goal here. It's not to make a small structure. Of course, you can start with the cobblestone, use that as your kind of your forward base, and then just expand on it. You know, it's very easy to kind of get this build started because the bottom is all cobblestone. I also want to show you a quick night shot here. Just kind of go around the house at night. I think night views are very important because you can kind of see the lighting, and especially with shaders, night views are just, it's a totally different level of, I think, stunning to see buildings at night. And that's pretty much the build. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. Once again, this is going to be available as a world download today for patrons, and then down the road, once we finish the entire world, pretty much, then I will do it as a public world upload. So just a heads up there. And once again, if you guys have any requests, leave them down in the comments, and I hope to see you guys next time.